All right, everybody, welcome to episode 173 of the Followtonians. Eric here, and over in the park, Kansas. Ped in Cyprus, not on the show, having in vacation, burning up his ginger soul. He's probably as red as Sebastian from Little Mermaid at this moment. And you know what? That's fine. Fine, Ped. Just go do that. Be red. Be all sunburned and
He's just giving up. He's just giving up his internal.
Hey! Who is that? Who is that talking in the background? I don't know who that is. So yeah, filling in for Ped and his redness, sunburned self is the man, the myth, the legend that does our match reviews, Mr. James Hollis from Charleston, South Carolina. How's it going, James?
Excellent. I apologize in advance for all of the people that have read my match reviews over the years. I'm very thrilled to be here, Eric. I'm sorry to hear that that Ped is no longer with us, as we know what happens to gingers when they get out in the sun.
Well, he doesn't have any soul, so you don't have to worry about that part. He has no soul, so you don't have to worry about that. He'll be fine. I'm sure he's wearing
a trench coat.
SPF 10,000. Yeah, a trench coat.
Trench coat and a hat. You'll notice him on the beach.
Yeah, he's the guy that you can't tell where he's from.
He's the guy that looks like a sex pest.
Oh, come on now.
Starting off rough, I know.
He doesn't have to be on the beach to look like a sex pest.
Right.
Oh, anyways. Not a whole lot going on as far as everything goes. We're international break time, so that's why we weren't around last week. So pretty boring. Pretty boring.
I have this campaign against international breaks. I remember last year around this time, it was the first international break, and all the games were meaningless. And for whatever reason, Gibson was playing for the Republic of Ireland and did his knee at this time and was gone for the season. And I mean, I didn't like him before because you just get bored.
Yeah, now he just does some nasty high tackles.
Right.
And probably should have been sent off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting there. All international break, I'm just sitting there not watching the games and hoping that I don't hear about an injury from an Everton player, and then watching them afterwards. I'm like, it's okay, they're not hurt.
All right. Well, you've done your homework on this, so let's do a little bit of a rundown as far as touching on some key points that happened with regards to some of the Everton players out there.
Okay.
Timmy Howard stayed home. Thank goodness for him.
Timmy Howard is retired for the year.
I don't know how that works, but
I think Klinsman's going to put him out in the cold like he did Landon Donovan, but
Yeah. You take a break at this stage in your career like that and let other people come in and show their worth, like Guzan and possibly Nick Romano. Yeah, it's going to be hard to trust that spot being there whenever he decides to come back.
He's a fantastic keeper, though. I mean, I know Ped is on a campaign, and he's going to be horrified me saying this. I know he's on a campaign that says that Tim Howard doesn't control his box, and he's not the only one. but he's one of the best shot stoppers around. Obviously, could have done a little bit better thus far in the season, but I think we'll be fine. I think that the international break came at a very good time for us because we needed to sort some things out and get rid of a couple of niggling injuries. So fortunately, we seem to have done that.
So where should we start first? Let's go over to Belgium. How did Belgium fare in the Belgian contingent that is Everton?
All right, so yeah, the Belgium guys. So sort of special thing about Belgium, unlike a lot of the European teams, they didn't actually have a qualifier this time around because their qualifier was supposed to be against Israel, and for some security reasons that
who knows,
fairly obvious if you watch the news.
What's the news? We don't talk about it on Match of the Day, so I don't know what's going on.
Right. Gary Lineker hasn't laid into that one yet.
Weighed in on
the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. But yeah, that game has been postponed until the spring. So in terms of our Belgian contingent, Lukaku out of the game against where did where's Morales against Australia. They won 2-1, and Belgium was actually not very happy about that. Pretty much, we pulled the like, tried and true. He's injured enough that we don't want him to play for you, so that he can recuperate and play for us. And Belgium actually was fairly unhappy with the Everton training staff for that, but I don't care because he's going to be healthy.
Matt will not get over it.
Right. But our lovely man Kevin Morales played 62 minutes in a 2-0 victory against Australia, and then the other qualifier was postponed, so he's coming back relatively rested as well.
Great. England? Do we care to talk about England? No, because Ped doesn't even care to talk about England.
Honestly, I have this like love-hate relationship with the English national team, and I don't even know if it's the English national team's fault. I used to live and die by watching the Everton players play on international duty for England, but for whatever reason, like I think the English media just have like this just fit. Like regardless of what happens, they're wanting to like jump to a conclusion that's like 5 years down the line from whatever actually occurred in the game. So last week, at the beginning of the week, England played against Norway, 1-0 victory on a Wayne Rooney penalty, and like the sky was falling. It was awful. Like, terrible display, boring, but I mean, it was a friendly. And then they play against Switzerland this week, 2-0 victory, good counterattacking goals, and now everything's amazing. They can't believe that England's so dynamic, and it's probably just because they left out, or they don't have to play Gerrard and Lampard and slow people in the midfield anymore.
Yeah, and Johnson. Yeah, and I just want to note or make a note of the fact that at the end of the match against Switzerland, the back four was 3/4 Everton.
Absolutely.
One of which is a player that was being played out of his natural position and hasn't even played for Everton yet this season. So it's very
John Stones went the distance against
the first
Switzerland.
match. Yeah.
Yeah, and he also played 81 minutes against Norway. And the right back position is what we've seen him like get out of position a lot this season and during preseason as well. So the fact that he could do it on international duty and was well equipped to deal with whatever he was playing against. And Switzerland's a good team.
Well, he hasn't seen the pitch since the first match against Leicester City.
Leicester.
Yeah, nice. But he looked good, and he's out of position, and we'll talk a little bit about Stones later on. Where else do we want to hit on?
Scotland, Ireland. Let's go with Scotland first.
Scotland, why not?
Okay. Stephen Naismith.
Naisy.
Yes.
I'm worried about the independence bid and what it does to the price of my scotch, but
yeah, that's totally weird. I remember when I was studying abroad in Scotland, and I remember thinking, it was like 7 years ago, and I was like, 2014, that's so far away. Why would Scotland vote for independence? But the polls are really close. That should be really, really strange. That'll make the England Scotland match that's coming up a very interesting affair. Should the vote go anti-United Kingdom?
Yeah. So how did they do on the pitch?
So on the pitch, Scotland played against Germany. And actually got rave reviews in a loss, which Scotland doesn't normally get rave reviews.
Very American of them, not wanting to be a part of England.
It was very, yeah.
And doing just almost enough against Germany.
Yeah, and exactly. And according to our friends at the Men in Blazers, their performance was extremely American, and despite the fact that they lost 2-1, things are looking up for Scotland. And Stephen Naismith had a number of chances, but did not convert, unfortunately. So he'll have to continue his scoring form against West Brom this weekend, which I have no doubt of him doing.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later as well.
Put your bets on.
Yeah, right. Let's move on over to Ireland. For some reason, half of the Irish squad at one point I think was all Everton. So that's just crazy.
I love it. Yeah, when half of them are like Scottish, or born in Scotland and play for Ireland, that's kind of strange to me as well. But I say that, but half the American team's German, so. Yeah, so Scotland played 2 matches. The first was sort of a second team game, and was prominent in our discussion only because Darren Gibson played like 60 minutes in it and didn't get hurt. It was versus Oman.
He did pick up a yellow card though.
Yeah, he is still stamping at people's chests, but
yeah, it wasn't quite a De Jong, a Liu Kang kick or anything like that, but it was
a Dirk Kuyt, if you will.
Well, he's just hard to look at, anyways.
Right. Yeah. So, but he's not hurt, and that's great because I mean we have this crazy fixture list coming up in the next month. So
try next 14 days. 5 matches in the next 14 days.
Man, I'm gonna be writing a lot.
Yeah, from Saturday the 13th to Saturday the 27th, the away derby. There are 5 matches. At least the furthest away travel is to Swansea during that for the League Cup.
Wales is pretty much the wilderness, though. So I mean,
yeah,
I got lost in Wales a number of years ago.
So yeah, it's away to West Brom, home to Wolfsburg in the Europa League, home to Crystal Palace, away to Swansea in the League Cup, and away to Liverpool.
Oh, I don't like to end it that way. Back to Ireland shortly.
Okay.
The second match was actually a qualifier against Georgia. McGeady, McCarthy, and Coleman also are all played. Coleman played the full match. McCarthy got subbed right at the end, and McGeady, star man, scored the opening goal. Oh yeah, he did the McGeady, which is like this double Cruyff turn thing that I've been trying in my apartment, and failing for the past 3 hours. But
how many things did you break trying to do that?
Yeah, it was the shot afterwards that really broke everything, unfortunately.
Did you stub your toe on 3 things while
I twisted my ankle. I twisted my ankle a couple of times. I cramped up.
He twisted the defender's ankles on that thing. That was sick.
Dude. Yeah, he's a very special player, and the thing about McGeady is there are things that he can do that nobody else can do, and you don't find unique players like that all that often. The problem with him is his level of consistency. So the reason I think that Roberto Martinez is so excited about having him is because he thinks that he can actually develop that consistency in him, and it's a similar thing to what we saw with Kevin Morales, because a lot of times with wingers you have moments of brilliance, and then they'll go through an entire.
That's how my career went.
Yeah, that's all my career is the moments of brilliance.
I was talking about the other part where you go for periods of time and don't do squat.
Right, I've done a bit of that as well. But yeah, Eric, you're a traditional winger. You'll go through moments of brilliance and then fallow periods in which you don't do very much. And I think that. McGeady has had a couple of assists. He's had that absurd goal against Leicester City, and I think that Martinez thinks that he can get the best out of McGeady consistently, which would be a very terrifying prospect because he's got the quickest feet of any player I've ever seen, and
Mm-hmm.
he looks like he's 45 years old.
I would argue that on our squad that at moments Coleman looks like he could be faster. I just like the downhill play of Coleman. I like the fact that he's just, you're in front of me. I don't care. I'm going through. I'm getting past you. I don't care how you try to stop me because it's not going to work. I'm just going to go.
Coleman's fearless. That's what I love about him. What's he doing getting that header against Arsenal? Just you're a right back. Okay, you're going to go score.
In the 6.
Yeah, right.
Where's the right winger in that situation?
Yeah,
where's the second striker in that situation?
And we've deployed him. We've deployed him like that a lot. The fact that he scored as many goals as he scored last year was because he was coming in late and just attacking the box, and nobody expects the right back to be there or to finish. So. Maybe it'll leave us exposed on the counter, which is another problem.
The fact that Montreal is just gash, but we don't need to talk about Arsenal anymore.
No.
Any other randoms? Bosnia-Herzegovina and Besic and lost to Cyprus, the homeland of Ped.
They also beat Liechtenstein.
Oh,
which
well,
is
fantastic.
a
I'm
very
pretty sure
solid
you, me,
performance.
and Ped can beat Liechtenstein.
Not tonight, not tonight, but yes, normally.
Yeah.
Well, and we shouldn't forget about young man Christian Atsu playing for
Yep.
Ghana.
Yep.
They
Ghana. Yeah.
had a poor result against
Match winner.
Uganda, and he scored the winner against Togo on apparently a very lovely run. And a Togolese side, if I'm using the correct word for that. Yeah, maybe. So, please tell me if it's wrong. But
It's
that
wrong.
had
I
Emmanuel
don't know
Adebayor
what's
on
right.
that team. So yeah.
Just know it's wrong.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
move
probably
on.
wrong. But yeah, our arch enemies in America, Ghana, doing okay in qualifying now after that Christian Atsu goal. Hopefully, we'll see more from.
Which is unfortunate. I'd hope for them to not qualify just
Right.
because of selfishness. He's one of our only players that would be at the African Cup of Nations and would be, out of the squad for it's like 3 weeks, 4 weeks possibly.
I mean, with them talking about moving the Qatar World Cup to the winter, I'm just kind of like
I
horrified.
thought you were going to say to the United States, but
Yeah, I hope they move it to the United because I know there's going to be a game in like Atlanta and I'm going, but
right.
it'd be wild. But yeah, I mean, that is the biggest screw up to when it's a period of the season that you really need depth because you get the FA Cup starting, then you're going right into like the group stages or the knockout stages of the Champions League and the Europa League, and I mean, do we have Joseph Yobo? What are we going to do without him?
He's available on a free.
No, leave him. We're all right. We had a lot of we also had a lot of players playing for under 21s in England and Wales and
yeah, we don't care about that.
And under 20s and under 19s and
any injuries that we need to worry about?
From our first team players, no, we're all right. Everybody came back healthy. It's the players that are at Finch Farm that are not the healthiest.
Yeah. So Eto has picked up an injury. Osman's picked up a knock.
I have an entire list here.
That's great. Fantastic. But there was a closed-door friendly to where Oviedo got some time. And this new signing, Aruna Kone, apparently. He's like our number 9, I guess. Apparently he got in and possibly scored a goal in this closed-door friendly.
I hear it may have actually been his camel. But
his camel scored a goal.
Yeah, the reports are sketchy from the closed door friendly, so the camel might have assisted his goal.
If we only had Ped here to tell us what happened.
I know. I hear reports, but yeah, apparently we won like 4-0, and Kone did very well, which sort of belies everything that we've seen from him so far. But I think he'll come through. I think he'll come good, despite the fact that I don't think he has any cartilage left in his knees.
That's okay. That'll just get in the way.
Yeah, that's right. If it's not there, it can't get injured, right?
Right. Yeah. You can't break what you don't got.
That's right. So you want to talk about this injury list?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
You ready for this?
Yeah. Give us the latest injury list.
Steven Pienaar.
Yeah.
Is back in training.
Good.
He's always like right in between being hurt and playing.
Mm-hmm.
But he should probably be fit for the game at the weekend. Lukaku got a little toe problem, but he should be fit too. Yeah. He's back in training. Kone played and scored. He doesn't have cartilage in his knees, so he's probably coming back soon, but God knows how long for. Brian Oviedo from that horrible leg break that
double leg
broke all of our spirits. But he played in the closed door friendly, and he should be available this month. Samuel Eto'o injured his groin, apparently doing that header against Chelsea, which, I mean, I think that over 40s men's league is when you start injuring your groin on a header. But he's having a fitness test tomorrow and might be on the bench against West Brom.
Yeah,
hopefully probably if he is. Leon Osman, to the probably the happiness of many of my Twitter followers, is picked up an injury against Stoke, probably because Charlie Adam like karate kicked him in the sternum or something. And he's also getting a fitness test tomorrow. Ross Barkley is rehabbing ahead of schedule. He's and I don't know whether
so excited
Martinez.
about that.
This may be like a Martinez tactic, and like just putting it out into the world that he's rehabbing faster, which means it might actually make it happen. But he says he's 2 weeks ahead of schedule, so he's about halfway done. He's got about a month left of icing and repairing that knee ligament, as I sit on my keyboard here. And then Gibson, whatever's wrong with him, he should be all right. He should be all right until he pulls his.
The depth of your analysis is unmatched.
Gibson's knee is healed. The muscles surrounding his knee were problematic before he hurt his knee, so now we have to make sure that his thighs are okay.
Is really the problem.
Exactly. His 1,000 thigh injuries are now coming back, and hopefully we can deal with those. But that's the injury list.
Much for him, huh?
Right. He was so good for us for a season and a half. I just hope he comes back and gets back to his best playing, because he's a great rhythm passer, and if God forbid if we lose Barry, then it's going to Gibson.
If rhythm was a passer.
Oh, and when Barry undoubtedly gets suspended for yellow cards.
Yeah, that'll probably be in about 2 matches.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. We'll take a break. Hear from Patty. We'll be right back and discuss West Brom and Eurpoa League starting.
No.
We'll be right back. All right, let me get this cleaned up here real quick.
Did you spill your? Oh, did you spill your beer?
Negative. It is right here. Ooh, Goose Island Endless IPA.
Lovely.
It's
I'll have
tasty.
to send you a Palmetto IPA, or it's not. It's just their pale ale, but it is an IPA.
Yeah, my favorite local Free State. They've got a Thunderhead IPA. It's so good.
Can you get Schlafly in Kansas City?
Yeah.
That area?
Yeah, it's St. Louis.
I was a massive fan of their.
Mostly because Kansas City, KCMO, all the distributors are in Missouri, so that it's
you got Boulevard and stuff over there as well, which was always really good.
Boulevard is tasty.
That was the only wheat beer that I would actually
This
drink.
episode of Follow Tony's is brought to you by all the beers we like to drink.
That's right.
Thanks for tuning in on YouTube.
Yeah, this is Eric, who lives in Kansas City, and James, who used to live in St. Louis, probably the two most beer happy cities in the Midwest. So
yeah,
I would say the nation, but I think the Oregon folks would be horrified and offended. So
yeah, and then Milwaukee, they like all their beer up there.
That's right.
Even though it's all crap.
Wait, are there actually people watching us on YouTube now?
Yeah.
3 people. Hey guys.
For some reason the Q&A is disabled. I don't know why. So we can't. It doesn't matter. Nobody ever says anything to us. Anyways, all right. Let's get back into this. Let me key this thing back up. All right. Here we go.
I'm gonna go to YouTube now.
Stop talking. All right. Here we go. Shut up, dude. Shut up. You're going to get fired before the show's over. All right, here we go. All right, we're back on Follow Tonians, brought to you by Abscess Services Limited. And I guess we should probably, preview the West Brom match, that's happening this weekend. Heading on down to Hawthorns. Patty will be there. Look for him. He's the big, tall, bald guy.
That's not Jonas Olsen.
Yeah. So we get to meet up with a few past Everton friends. Alan Irvine, who's never had a head managing position ever.
He's got the best agent on earth, by the way.
For something. I mean, that or they've got I don't know. Something on somebody down there at West Brom, or maybe it was part of the Nietzsche deal. Maybe that was it.
You know that's what it was. Hey, that's what it was.
We'll give you a Nietzsche for really, really cheap, but that means in within 2 years, you have to hire Alan Irvine as your manager.
Legitimately, I think Alan Irvine went there with his CV and was like, "Hey, here's a video of the 2007-2008 season with Everton when Joleon Lescott and Victor Anichebe were both superb. You know what? I know how to get the best out of them.
I can make them excellent again."
That's right.
And then so you put that out there. Anichebe has been at West Brom, but they just signed this season Joleon Lescott.
Joleon.
He was rumored to be coming to Everton on many occasions, coming back to Everton on many occasions, but I can think of 6 reasons why that shouldn't have never happened, and I'm kind of glad it didn't.
With great love comes great hate, man. Joleon Lescott was one of my favorite players at Everton because I started following Everton in 2007-2008 season when he just could not stop scoring, and I was pretty gutted when he went to City, and I obviously understand why he did it, but that Arsenal match at the beginning of that season was a very, very low point. And my favorite thing about Lescott since he went to City and was Seamus Coleman getting a yellow card for kicking the ball at him when right after Leon Osmond scored that header over Vincent Kompany. Loved that game. And then Phil Neville and the coaching staff at City got into it. Brilliant! I absolutely loved it.
Well, I actually got to see him play whenever I went over and saw City at Goodison. So, yep.
You should bring that back up. You also saw Gibson's awesome goal.
Yes, and a very fortunate assist from Landon Donovan.
That touch was I thought he was going to ruin it with that touch. Still to this day, when I watch the replay, I'm like, "What is he doing? Lay it off!"
Right. So Jakob is your favorite player at West Brom?
All right. So West Brom, yeah. I mean, when there was under Steve Clark, they were exactly what you'd expect from a side that's just come up, and they're organized and they're mean and they score scrappy goals. Like they had Shane Long, who I feel like always is the template of a player that always scores against Everton for those lower sides, because they hustle and bustle and we make a mistake at the back and then he just scoops it in or something. Not a massive amount of talent. He's fast. He's physical, that sort of thing. Fortunately, he's not there, and they have Victor instead. But I really don't like Claudio Jakob. I thought he was a really dirty player a couple years ago, and that was the first time I'd seen him play. So that sort of thing kind of sticks. And that's. I hope Alan Irvine sort of makes them a less, feisty side, but I doubt it. I think we're gonna get a real fight on our hands, and I recall the pitch last year at the Hawthorns being particularly bad, and I think it made it really hard for us to play. I don't remember whether they watered the pitch or whether they didn't water it enough. I think it was that they didn't water it enough last season and to slow the ball down and make it really hard for us to play possession football. So I would expect a similar thing this time around. We haven't done great against West Brom, which is kind of shocking.
Right.
We got 2 draws last season. We won 1, lost 1 the season before that. We had 2 losses the season before that. And then right when they were coming up in 08-09, we had 2 wins against them. But yeah, I'm not excited to see West Brom because they're not an easy team to beat. Though
yeah.
they're not going to be reaching high into the table at all.
Well, yeah, it seems like we tend to do better against teams that come out and play. And
right.
And the fact that it's at the Hawthorns, maybe there'll be more chance that they will want to push the game against us, and will make it easier for us to open them up. But it's the thing about this season that really throws me off is we're second in the table if it was just a goals for table behind the team that scored 6 on us. We've scored 7 goals this year in 3 matches.
Excellent.
But yet we've conceded 10.
Well, and the whole defensive thing, it's not like it's a shock that Everton's having a slow start defensively. This is not something that like we weren't. I mean, last season was all right, a lot of draws. Season before that, we had the best start of my time supporting Everton, but normally the beginning of the season was just awful, and it was because we would make awful defensive mistakes.
Right.
And I think we're like, and maybe it's a fitness thing, and maybe it's like a match sharpness thing more than like a fitness thing. It's just making the decisions at the right time and doing the right thing. And I don't know why it takes excellent pros like Phil Jagielka and Sylvan Diston time to bed in a season. It's not like they're new or something like that. But
all right, let's address the elephant in the room then. We've got 3 center halves. What is the?
So we should play 3 at the back, right?
Yeah. Maybe. If we do, then that would make it easier to answer this following question. If we just put 3 center halves in and 2 wing backs and.
I heard a journalist say that 3 at the back in England was gone, though. It was dead. And, I mean, obviously because, Manchester United's not doing very well with a very, very poor back line, it's obviously dead after 3 games of the season.
So what combination, if we only do 2 center halves, what combination do you go with? Do you stick with what we've played? Do you put in Stones for Distan and play one of them out of position on the left side, or I don't think
just put an Alcaraz.
That's only if like everybody gets injured.
He's silky smooth. He's just terrifying when he the way he plays defense.
Yeah. So it's either stick with what we have or bring in Stones. If you bring in Stones, one of them is going to be out of their natural position. Either Jags or Stones will be on the left side. Which of those 3 combinations is Everton's best option?
God, it sounds like we need Julian Lescott, honestly.
we need a left-footed center half.
That's right. Yeah, it sounds like we need Julian Lescott. There's a school of thought that says that Phil Jagielka is struggling to come back from that injury that he had last winter. I'm not sure the extent to which that's true. If it is true, then obviously we could replace him.
Why don't you play with England all World Cup and
right, exactly.
Again, this past match.
Obviously England weren't the strongest of sides at the World Cup. But
no, they were not, James.
They were not. But I mean, if Phil, the question is who's making more of the mistakes right now, and I can't exactly say that it's Jagielka, and I can't exactly say that it's Diston. Obviously, we don't want to talk about the Chelsea match, but Jags is out of position a lot in the Chelsea match.
Yeah, there's a lot of flat-footed between the both of them.
Right, and there was a lot of flat-footed in the Arsenal match as well.
Right. And the Leicester City match.
I'd wait a couple matches because you're going to get to rotate the team a little bit with the fixture list that's coming. So
5 matches in 14 days.
Yeah, you're going to see Stones. You're going to probably see Alcaraz at some point because I know Sylvan Diston's a cyborg and stuff, but I can't imagine like a guy in his mid-30s playing that many matches. So you're definitely going to see some rotation happen.
Because I am in my mid-30s, and it would be horrible.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I just tried to play Ultimate Frisbee and kickball in like consecutive nights, and I can barely walk at this point. So.
Kickball, isn't that what people in South Carolina call soccer?
I had a guy tell me last night that nobody cares about soccer in the United States, and I was like, bro.
Person.
Yeah, I was like, bro, I'm not doing a podcast tomorrow about soccer, and people actually listen.
For some reason, they do.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
yeah, I mean, I think that I think there's a huge.
Quo?
Yeah, I'd say the status quo. I mean, if there's another defensive lapse that is caused by a center back, then obviously think to change it. But I would also say that part of the problem is not necessarily the center backs, but how far we're pushing out and up with our backs. So I mean, if we can go and outscore West Brom, that's
those
fine
would be
with me.
fullbacks. Yep.
Fullbacks, yeah. Our outside backs, whatever.
Outside right, left back.
Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman.
There you go.
because I mean we're in some ways we're putting both of our center backs out on an island, and like when we're trying to deal with the likes of Diego Costa, he can break that. He can break through that line really quickly and score, and actually takes his chances. With Victor Anichebe, if he starts, and Giorgio Samaras apparently plays for West Brom as well, which he might start over Victor. But I don't think they necessarily have the quality to do what Arsenal and do what Chelsea did to us. I just hope that we don't allow like a striker that's a banger like Victor Anichebe or Ujoa for Leicester City do the same thing that happened 3 weeks ago.
I'm of the school of thought to bring in Stones, put Jags on the left, and just see what that does for us.
Be interesting. I mean, I think the reason Diston's in there a lot. I mean, it really depends on who we're playing against. Because last season, what happened is he would essentially go and outrun whoever their striker was, which is awesome.
Right. It's the recovery speed. It's the safety net.
Yeah, and he'd bail us out like that, and that was really useful. But he hasn't been doing that as much this season. So yeah, I mean, you may be right. Time will tell.
I may be right.
Roberto, for his part, Roberto was kind of offended by that question from the media in his press conference going into West Brom. They essentially asked him whether his two center backs were too old and whether he needed to look in the market to find somebody younger, and he was like, he made the comment that like, okay, yeah, age is not a problem for a player. I'm like, well, I mean, I remember how Rio Ferdinand looked as he aged and had to play like 5 feet farther back each time because he kept getting slower. But he's like, well, but age is not a problem for these players. I was like, oh, okay. But I mean, we may have to start thinking about that. Diston's a monster, and he's been an excellent servant, and I really like the fact I like the way he plays, and I like the way he comports himself in the media. But I hope that he's not sort of losing his legs at the wrong time for us, because that would be sad.
Yeah. Yes. We need to be able to develop a replacement. So, prediction? What's happening in this match? Do you think we can get is it a must-win game already?
I think it would be really helpful if we won.
It's a 6-pointer, 17th versus 18th relegation battle.
Relegation battle's happening.
Oh.
I mean, I think we need it, and I think we need it because we have so many fixtures coming up, and we need the confidence. But honestly, given the amount of time, I mean, think about the way that we came out of this international break last season. We couldn't play Lukaku. We could play Gareth Barry, obviously. James McCarthy. I think he came on late in the game against Chelsea. I may be wrong, but Martinez had a couple of weeks to craft a strategy, and we got our first win of the season last year after this international break, and a great performance against Chelsea with Nikica Jelavic and Steven Naismith running the line. So
we're missing Jelavic, that's for sure.
Yeah, but we should have Lukaku, and he should be healthy. I honestly think we're going to win, and I think we're going to win by a fair margin, which is not normal for us on the road. But hey, it's a crazy season, and it's sort of a new new phenomenon. We're scoring a lot of goals, and we're going to score a lot of goals on the road. I think we'll actually beat them either 3-0 or 4-1, something like that.
Clean sheet, huh? Possibly.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, 4-1 seems more reasonable.
More likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good shout on that, the 4-1 more than the 3-0.
I'll take 4-3 though. I don't care. I just want 3 points.
Yeah, I'd love a clean sheet and 3 goals. That'd be fine with me.
What's your prediction, Eric? Get off the fence.
I think probably 3-1's a good call. I don't know.
Who scores it? Who scores it? Does Naismith score his fourth game in a row?
It's hard to bet against him. It really is.
It's nailed on.
I think so. I think Lukaku opens his account for the year, and I think Naismith gets one, and I think maybe like a Baines penalty.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. That's penalty written all over it. Claudio Jakob, 2-footer on Stephen Pienaar, who's miraculously made the game. It's happening.
Okay, sounds good. I mean, well, I'm not sure when Ped's back. He's like I said, he's sunning it up in Cyprus, so
He's going to have a long recovery period after the sunburn
I'm
to
pretty
make
sure
sure that we can. He's okay for public consumption. So
yeah. So we're not sure if we're going to be able to get a show in before the opening of the Europa League at home on Thursday against Wolfsburg. These midweek matches are absolutely just going to kill me. I hate them. There's no way for me to watch them, especially these Thursday Europa League matches, to where
are they even on TV in America?
They're not even on TV. I got to get home and find some sort of highlights package from Krasnodar.
I'll hook you up. Don't worry.
And then be able to talk about them like within 2 hours of the match ending. So we've got Europa match at Goodison under the lights on Thursday.
Thank God European football is coming back to Goodison. Those nights are awesome.
Yeah.
Great spectacle, always fun, except unless you're playing like Standard Liège and getting bailed out by what the hell's his name? Yeah, terrible game.
Yeah, horrible. That
Segundo Castillo is the name that I'm searching in my head for. That was a great goal though.
Did you find it?
Yeah, got him.
Okay, good. Yeah. So, like we've been saying, tons and tons of matches coming up. We're going to be busy here at Follow-Tonians. James, you better just start writing now.
Yeah, I've already predicted the Wolfsburg match, and I'm casting my mind forward to figure out what the hell is going to happen against Swansea. It's probably going to be a win. They've never beaten us before, so I mean.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next week whenever you're not on the show.
Oh, come on.
So Naismith, 4 matches in a row. I think that's definitely going to happen. I'm already 14's my favorite number, and yeah, I really think I'm going to have to get a Naismith 14 shirt. He's just doing too well.
Do it.
Anything else? Any other news out there? A possible James McCarthy contract extension?
Yeah.
Haven't seen anything official. Probably as soon as we get done recording, it'll be announced.
Got to get him back from international duty, and it'll probably happen next week.
Might as well.
I thought he was going to Manchester United.
No. Why would he want to play there?
He wants to play in the 3 at the back.
Right.
Obviously.
Horrible. They're worse than us.
Yeah. No fan of them.
Plus, they don't even have any Europe, and they're already out of the League Cup.
How could we talk about West Brom? I'm horrified with myself at the moment. How can we talk about West Brom without talking about Saido Berahino, the only player that's probably actually a danger? He scored 2 goals for the England under-21s against some place far in Central Europe.
I was intentionally trying to skip him because nobody can pronounce his name.
Saido Berahino. Is it Hino or Hino? I don't know.
I don't know. It's probably.
We needed someone with a Scouse accent to weigh in on the phonetic pronunciation.
I'm pretty sure you pronounce it Stracklercy, but
yeah, we'll take that. If Dennis lined up against us this weekend, I would just concede.
Like Chelsea did.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think that should pretty much wrap it up for us. There's not a whole lot to talk about yet. Moving forward, the rest of the season is just nuts. October there's like 32 games, in November I think there's like another 27, and then December is light with like only 18. So
yeah, I'm glad I just got a new keyboard because I'm going to be typing a lot. Everybody, thank you for
you need to get one of those programs that you can just dictate into and.
Oh yeah, I can be a proper lawyer then. I have the headset at least. Everybody, thank you for dealing with me being the host instead of Ped. I know I don't. My accent's not as fun as his, but read
That's
my
right.
stuff.
I've at least been able to understand you, so it makes the banter easier.
That's right. Yeah. And Robot Ped has been killed, at least for one episode. So praise the maker, and please read and comment on my post. It makes it a lot more fun when I get feedback that's not from Stoke fans telling me how I can't speak English and effing and seeing and all that. So
Yeah, and you suck and stuff and
yeah,
things.
that's right.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. 3 points against West Brom, a must almost, and we'll see how Europa League kicks off at Goodison on Thursday. Come on, you Blues, let's go.
Get your bets on.
Nice. All right, let's kill this thing.